This is the Digital Savage Experience Podcast, hosted by Roman Prokopchuk, bringing you all things digital marketing, tech, business, and motivation. What's stopping you from becoming relentless in all aspects of life? Are you ready to become a digital savage? Let's get into today's episode.
Hey everyone, this is Roman Prokopchuk, and this is the Digital Savage Experience, episode 50, You versus You. So at the end of the day, no matter how many podcasts you listen to, no matter how many motivational videos you watch or books you read, it's ultimately dependent on you. Can't look at anybody else or where they are in life. That's one of the biggest mistakes. When I was younger, I would always look at and kind of get pissed off in terms of, oh, this person doesn't know as much as I do, or this person had these hookups or these breaks and now they're doing all these things, or regardless, this person got lucky, why can't I get my break? Well, it really doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, you have to put in the work, you have to change, you have to motivate yourself, you have to stay hungry, you have to have that kind of killer instinct. Regardless if you're on top or you're a contender or a champion, whoever you are, you still have to work to either keep it or get it to the point where you want to be. Nothing is kind of handed to you, obviously. Nothing worthwhile is easy. And nothing is a short game either. So maybe you tried something for a month or 2 months and it's not working and you're ready to give up. Well, that's not enough time. Time is obviously your most important asset, but you also have to give things time to mature. Without that, you can't truly see what they become. But like this podcast episode is titled, You versus You, you have to keep improving. You have to do the things that are needed to reach your goals. You have to constantly keep reinventing yourself, especially in relationships and even your job. So with the rise of AI and basically machine learning, a lot of jobs are going to be taken away in terms of kind of the general jobs. So what are you going to do? You got to just sit there and complain technology stole your job, or you got to adapt and get the technological know-how to have a role within the AI and machine learning space. You can't honestly blame anyone for your shortcomings. Ultimately, there are some variables that you aren't in control of, but for the most part, setting up yourself in success in terms of your personal life and in business is up to you. So you versus you, it's kind of those things that the only person that can defeat you is you. So there's like a saying, I think Will Smith was famous for saying it. So there's only basically one way. If you get on the treadmill with me, that's what's gonna happen. It's either I'm getting to basically die or you're getting off, and there's no way of giving up. So you versus you means you don't give up on yourself, and you don't give up in whatever situation, regardless of how hard it is. If you are on that proverbial treadmill, basically running against somebody else, you're not really running against somebody else. You're pushing yourself, you're motivating yourself, you're doing the things that need to be done to get where you want to go. So basically, those people around you that don't have that thick skin to overcome, to do that what's needed, will get off that treadmill. And if they don't, then basically you're all in. You're willing to do everything it takes. You're willing to sacrifice your life, not obviously literally, but give it your all to reach the end goal. So, you can look at it as much as you want. Obviously I have my shortcomings and my vices and my low points like everybody else. Sometimes it is hard to stay motivated for an extended period of time. I have to keep motivating myself and remotivating myself on a daily basis. This episode itself, I was just going to go to bed and pass out, but I thought, why not? Let me record this, maybe add some value to somebody listening. that's down, or needs some, pointers that everybody's been at a low point, everybody been at a high point, but it's ever changing. There's no basically stationary target. So in terms of success, it's a constantly moving target. You can't basically think that it's enough. You can't be complacent. Like, I understand some people get some success and be happy because they don't want to work as much, stuff like that, but you constantly have to reinvent yourself. Regardless if you stop working, developing a hobby, an interest, reading, writing, keeping your mind basically moving. I think a lot of the things in terms of these mind-related diseases, when you get older, are from the lack of obviously using your mind and having your mind be stimulated and constantly reinventing your mind. So regardless of what you're doing, what point you are in life, if you're right now on Mount Everest, you've reached all your goals or the goals you think that you had, you can always fall to the deepest sea. So look inside yourself in that you versus you battle and basically see where you stand, because sometimes there's a lot of artificial fluff. People hype you up like you're the best, you're this and you're that, when sometimes you're just mediocre or, in the middle. Don't take anyone's kind of advice if they don't know what they're talking about seriously, or even their hype. A lot of people, when you get success, it gets to your head, you start slipping. It's the same thing if you become like a champion in sports. So basically, you become a world champion boxer, you win some, title defenses, and then you just, ease off of the speed pedal and hit the brake a little bit. Well, the contender coming up isn't going to hit the brake. So staying hungry is a key and essential to basically the you versus you mentality. I think when I switched my thinking to you versus you and I'm not competing with anybody else, I started to get a lot further, a lot faster, because I wasn't looking at anybody else. I don't see anybody around me in terms of a race. I have kind of my blinders on. Some of these horse races, you'll see, I think, the buggy ones, where they put the blinders on the horse, so all they're really looking for or at is straight. They're not looking around at anyone around them. They're not doing anything of that nature. They're just looking at the finish line. Well, in our case, in terms of life, it's not a stationary finish point in terms of your goals and where you're going to be in life. Maybe obviously everybody, passes away, that being the end of your life as the finish line, but you don't necessarily know when that will be. So making the most of every minute and second, redefining yourself always, finding motivation in anything, honestly, not taking things for granted. The US is super cushy. In terms of stats, even the poorest of the people in the US are still considered moderate to well-to-do against the rest of the poor or impoverished around the world. So just think about that, how crazy that is. I come from a country in terms of Ukraine that right now is war-torn. When I was younger, it was under communism, so I do remember water being shut off, waiting in a few hours of lines just to get a loaf of bread and things of that nature, not having religious freedom, not, being able to do certain things, supplies of different fruits, like things like oranges here, or any kind of citrus fruits you would have on like a holiday. So I still hold on to that to remember. But I'm not gonna lie, life got a lot cushier than, I would be there. If I grew up there, obviously the variables would be a lot different. Maybe I would have ended up in the United States, maybe not. But regardless of the situation, you have memories and things you grew up with that shaped you. Regardless if you grew up wealthy, poor, how affluent you were, what happened to you, either good things or bad, it's still you versus you, and you can either take the time and motivate yourself, brush it off, shrug it off, and keep moving regardless of what happens to you, super good or super bad, or you can just feel bad for yourself and just kind of shut down, become complacent, settle, don't do anything, get your emotions all out of whack, and basically it's not giving anyone anything. All it is making you stop and have people catch up to you in terms of, professional focus. I mean, obviously it's not applicable to family life, but when you do that, you do shut down in terms of your loved ones and your family, and don't live up to your full potential. So am I living up to 100% of my full potential? I don't think so. I'm looking for balance. I don't think there's balance per se, but I do want to improve in all aspects of my life in terms of my marriage, relationship with my foster kids, friendships, spirituality, career goals, personal brand building, health and fitness, and other things like that. So that's also a moving target. Those short and long-term goals may change over time, and it's still a battle, an internal battle. At the end of the day, I mean, you were obviously brought into the world without anyone, and you're going to leave the world without anyone. So the you-verse, basically you mentality also is applicable to that. You may have a strong support system. You may have all the friends, all the family, all the coworkers, but I mean, they don't know what's going on in your head. Sometimes you face those internal battles, and the only person that can win them is you. So I don't know if this episode helped anyone. I don't know if I'm just rambling on. Eventually, obviously, some of the podcast episodes are scripted and some are just like straight off the dome like this one. But hopefully in the near future, I'm going to have some guests, different formats, add a lot more value. But if you guys have any questions about any personal experiences that I've went through, the immigrant journey, foster care, raising 2 foster kids, being in the digital marketing space for 10 years, starting an agency, being a content contributor, anything of that nature, if you find any information about me that can help you, I'm more than happy to jump on a call, give some free feedback, give my opinion, help out any way I can. If you want to collaborate and be a guest in the near future on this podcast, or you would like me to be a guest on yours in terms of adding value, I'm open to that as well. If you guys want to leave a review or, a comment in terms of this being shared on social and other channels to promote this podcast, feel free. And if you have any ideas for the future, I'm always happy to hear you out, and in terms of feedback as well. So until next time, guys, take care. Have you ever thought of selling your own custom merch? Things like t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, or even posters? You totally can with your own Spreadshop. Spreadshop gives you everything you need to build your own brand with your own online store. Best of all, Spreadshop is 100% free to use. You'll never worry about any fees or monthly subscriptions. Just upload your own designs, make your products, start selling to your friends and fans, and let Spreadshop do the rest. Check out what other creators are saying and launch your free Spreadshop in minutes at spreadshop.com/signup. That's spreadshop.com/signup.
This podcast has been brought to you by Nova Zora Digital. Find out how Nova Zora Digital can help your company grow online. Learn more at novazoradigital.com. Until next time, all you digital savages.